Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the A Collision with Purpose project under the spotlight. Here, individuals are allowed to explore themselves in the pursuit of their purpose. I am Dr. Laxley Stephenson, and I'm your host. The A Collision with Purpose project allows individuals to pause, take a quiet moment and listen. Be introspective and engage self-reflection in pursuing their purpose to unleash possibilities with far-reaching implications for self and others. Today, the A Collision with Purpose project spotlight is on Mr. Juan. Mr. Smith is a father and a certified master life strategist coach. Let us welcome Mr. Juan to the A Collision with Purpose project under the spotlight.
Good morning. Good morning. I am so excited to be on Dr. Laxley. It's definitely good to be on your program and talking with you this morning. I'm excited about the discussions for today. I am, like you said, a life strategies coach. So much of the conversations I have every day, honestly, is centered around just discovery, self-discovery, life discovery, careers, family, just life in general, just helping people coaching people and helping them find what that pathway looks like for them, the best fit for them.
And I'm so pleased that you shared that, Juan. I appreciate that. So, I'm really pleased to welcome you to the Collision with Purpose project under the spotlight. I'm looking forward to an engaging, insightful, and interactive conversation with you about a topic which is arguably one of the most consequential concepts in forming how we function as individuals and ultimately what we perceive as our legacy.
Yes, the biggest word that comes to mind just thinking about legacy, purpose is alignment. I think when being in purpose, as you've touched on already, especially through this program, I think it helps bring individuals in alignment with their purpose, even just kind of having to think through, why am I here? So I think it's a great conversation. Legacy is important because I believe even us fulfilling our purpose, it transcends our lifetime. I think even generations after are informed just by what we do and what we figure out and share even in our lifetime.
So true. You're talking my talk there, It's not just about you.
I agree.
So let's jump in. Give me your definition of purpose and define it in a very broad way.
I would define purpose generally as why something or someone exists. I would define it that way.
Why something or someone else exists. That's a big definition. Very broad.
Yes.
Why is it important, given your definition? Because it's all about our existence, right?
Correct.
Why is it important for you and others to have an understanding of their purpose?
I think it's important because I'll say it like this: you don't want to spend your whole life just walking aimlessly. And I think a lot of times we find ourselves wandering because we don't know why we're here, why we exist. And I think the minute that it clicks, that it makes sense, that we are in tune with our existence and our purpose, everything just starts to make sense. The relationships, the experiences, good, bad, or indifferent, but everything I think plays into why we are here, because it puts us closer to the alignment of our purpose. So I think it's important to know our purpose so we're not just wandering, through life,
And what a position to be in if you're wandering.
Yes. And and I would say this, you saying that just kind of just triggered this thought that you don't want to wander for too long, but I do believe that there is a beauty in that process of figuring it out. Because then you're able to really just kind of just find you. And I think that's the first step, finding you, you're hearing your voice, just seeing, everything about you, what you love, what you like, all of those things, because part of your purpose is tied to who you are at your core. So I think even in that wandering period, that there is some self-discovery, just figuring out like, hey, okay, I can't stay here forever, but how do I get out? Where am I going? I think you find direction
And part of the pursuit is when you're into that wandering stage, and that's where you make your discoveries as well.
I agree.
You know, so a level of curiosity is important.
That's good. Yes, I agree. I agree. I think that's the biggest thing with when you said the level of curiosity. I believe that there are some questions that one asks themselves, just to kind of figure out, or to bring, clarity to the curiosity.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your purpose, your specific purpose.
So I call it the 3 E's, or E3 is in anything that I do in my lifetime, I'm here to educate, to equip, and to empower. That's one thing I know. So I serve as like I said, I am a certified life strategist coach. I serve on a couple of boards, and these boards generally are centered around helping youth and young adults find their purpose, and then counseling them in career search, career exploration, self-awareness, college searches, finding scholarships, a lot of these things. These conversations that are ongoing just about, what's the best fit for you, helping someone discover that right path. And then helping them discover what the steps are to get on the path and to reach their goals, their objectives, their outcome. And so that is my purpose. Wherever I find myself, whether I've worked in higher ed, secondary education, I'm a youth director at my church. So wherever I find myself, I am adamant about, and just thoroughly working and diligently working to help educate, equip, and empower the next generation.
Educate, equip, and empower. And that's, especially in our communities, that's all 3 of those critical.
Yes.
Yes. So what informs your sense of purpose? Is it an event, a series of events, or is it a question of destiny?
It's a good question. Just thinking through that, my mind instantly went to a series of events. As I look back at my life, and I see different things that's transpired in my life. I think what led me to where I am now are those events. But I think it's also tied to, it's almost overlapping to the question of destiny. Because as I experience these events, and some weren't always just the best feeling or the best events, but they still occurred. I had to really ask, what am I supposed to get from this? Why did that happen? Why me? And I started asking all these questions, and then those thoughts about, well, maybe it had all to do with who I'm becoming, who I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to affect, or the impact I'm supposed to have in my lifetime. I said, so I think they coincide. The series of events should kind of lead you to asking those questions about, what's my destiny? Where am I going?
Replay one of those events for me.
I'll say this. So full disclosure, my parents divorced when I was 10. But even when they were married, my dad wasn't around a lot. Of course, I didn't start seeing the emotional and the mental impact of that until I started in my adolescence, right? Dealt with a lot of anger, resentment, fear of rejection, just abandonment issues. And so I struggled with that for some years, and I didn't have the best relationship with my father. But as I matured, I got into college, my young adulthood, found my faith, I started to realize that I was not the only one experiencing that type of, as we talk about events, a series of events. So my father not being there left a gap, a void, that I was constantly running, trying to fill in different ways. And so as I matured and just took the time to really recenter and regroup and find myself, I was able to discover that there's something here. There's a need that is here that as I've matured and have grown and have learned and found myself in the midst of this pain and distress and disorientations, all these different things, I found some answers that I can actually share with other people who have experienced or are experiencing the same thing. So, but it's those events, my dad not being there, the divorce, he remarried, he had more kids, He didn't show up for this event. The many times he said inappropriate things. Those events were happening, and if I wasn't aware enough to say, wait a minute, okay, it hurts, but he went through the same thing with his dad. And I got to know my grandfather before he passed, and he went through the same thing with his. Why is this happening? What's happening? So maybe I'm the one that's going to bring a stop to this generationally. So it helped and informed me to what it takes to be a present father. So when I had my daughter, I knew I had an idea of what to do and what not to do based on what I experienced, based on those series of events. So even as I mentor young men, I in the mentorship connection, I apply some of those principles and understandings that I gained even through my life events.
And that's awesome, because so many individuals would have used that experience as an excuse.
Yes. I would say this, my mom, she has her own story. She would always tell me as I got older that life is all about choices. There were certain things that she saw with her parents growing up that she made the decision to not repeat with myself and my siblings. She said, so it doesn't mean that it's easy, but sometimes when we go through, it's necessary to show us what is available to us in life and the choices that we have. And so she's always said, Juan, you always have a choice. You always have a choice. You can decide to be the person that you desire to be, but you have to make that decision yourself.
And to confirm and reinforce what you're saying, our experiences, is great teacher, right?
Yes, absolutely.
It's also teaching us what to do and what not to do.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
I agree. Yes, it does.
So often we say, we learn from our experiences, but we also learn what to do and what not to do.